ring the bell, and we'll announce the candidate and the person who's volunteering.
Can I interrupt?
We're fired up and ready, man. Get the cowbell, warm up the bus. There's all sorts of things you can do. Well, listen, I know we're here for the candidates and the volunteers, so I do want to keep it short, but I just thought it was important to show some support and share a couple of messages. Number one, thank you everyone who came here today who's part of the West Side Dems, and thank you to the leadership. Give them a round of applause. And this is so great to see all the candidate tables, by the way, because I was at the state convention just a couple of days ago, and it was wonderful to be together as Democrats. But I got to tell you, everything is so hybrid and all this and that. There were almost no candidates there, and that's okay, you know, because it was virtual and whatever. But you know, I do miss the camaraderie. So like, it's just great to see the signs and the volunteers and all this in person. So that brings me to, I think, one of two things that I want to share. This year, we know that it is all about in-person contact. The advantage we have is the outreach we have, which is a throwback to kind of before COVID. We're ready to mobilize and knock doors, make the phone calls, but also help the candidate directly. That's what we can provide that is very unique, and the other team is not ready to do. They're just going to be sitting there with their texting apps and doing that kind of thing. So we're going to do it old school and in person. And of course, the West Side Dems is here to do that, and we have amazing candidates who are going to deliver. Which is the second thing I want to share, that through all of your work, candidates, at least who've been incumbents, but folks who are running too, you know, I remember, I'm old enough to remember, it wasn't that long ago, like 6 years ago, when, you know, this side of town was really a swing vote and or controlled by the other team. Not anymore because of you. So thank you for turning the West Side blue. And you can't do it without a great West Side Dem organization and also without great
candidates. Hang on one
sec.
Yeah.
So all the candidates, whether it's our congressional seat, which is of course West Side Albuquerque, all the way to our House seats and our Senate seat. I know we have amazing candidates who also made that happen. So candidates, thank you all for keeping the West Side blue as well, and for re-upping for another round. And so with that, I'm going to see whatever I can do to help, of course, in my capacity, and keep me posted if even I can help one-on-one on the campaigns and so forth, best I can on the trail. Now, I know Pete has a comment. Yes, sir.
And let's call it a question.
Okay.
I would like you to talk about, for a little, 40% versus 50%.
I'm so glad you asked, because this may be on the ballot with all the candidates. So candidates, you got to get down this spiel too. So first thing is, just want to let you know that I am going to veto this on Friday. So thank you. I want to thank you all for showing up to council and for standing up against this proposal. I know the West Side Democrats made their voice heard. We really appreciate Dorothy. Great work with that. And the game plan is basically this. We'll know in August whether or not that veto is overturned or not. I am optimistic, believe it or not. Some of the councilors think it's just a bridge too far. So that's a good thing. But right after August, if this gets on the ballot, look, we absolutely have to stand up against this. And I think there's really two reasons why. There's a lot of reasons why, but I just want to address, I think, the most obvious. There is a rumor that became an editorial in the Journal that somehow in America we only have one election. And I was like, they completely forgot about primaries, right? They completely forgot about primaries. Also, they made this Olympic analogy that makes me cringe. That there's a track race, and the winner of the track race, there's just one track race, right, and the winner takes all. Is anyone watching you with the crowd? Like, that is not true at all. There are heat after heat. Like, the Olympics are a story of runoffs, right? There's like 9 runoffs in the Olympics. So I have to tell you, like, that logic is just totally false. In fact, it's the opposite. There is almost no election that is actually just one election, right? I think, maybe a mascot or something you have to add. There might be some minor exceptions. But there's always, that's like literally not true. So anyway, I digress, but yeah.
Okay, if you veto it, and the veto is sustained, and I'll see what I can do with Marissa. Okay, then, if your veto is sustained.
Yeah, so if the veto is sustained, it will stay off the ballot. And remember too, of course, this is West, our city was represented by the majority vote. So that was labor, everyone got on board with that for all the right reasons. But yes, so hopefully we'll be back for more on that to see if it actually goes on the ballot. Yes, ma'am. So her question was, is this ranked choice? It is not. We ran in the last 2 years. So whether you like it or not, it's definitely dead. And that also died. And they voted on a plurality. So that really means you can have a mayor with like 10% of the vote, because that's how it should be. And that's how I was saying, it's actually rarely almost ever one election. Yeah.
Part of their argument was that the single election didn't cost the.
Oh, thank you for asking. So there's 2 myths out there. One is that, it costs money. And like, it does cost about $200,000 depending to run that election. But remember, like, our city has a $1 billion budget. Like, no one's sweating over like, let's just spend $200,000 to make sure we have somebody who represents the majority of us. It's well worth the cost. And that's they pick one example. Turnout was so much lower in like whatever race I had a runoff in, was like Benton's or someone else's. Look, in my runoff, the turnout was higher in my runoff. And that's because it was a 2-person race, right? And so I have to tell you, like, it just depends on the election. There is no, but then half didn't show up for the other one. So actually, if you add those 2 together, it was the highest turnout in any city election in history. In terms of the number of people, it's a real dice roll. So all the more reason to make it like 50%. Because if you get a low turnout race and then a winner with 30% of that vote, it might only be actually at 10% of the population. And then you're just, is it really even a vote? All right, hey, great question. So I came because I thought this was going to be +1 to all our efforts. And so, we're going to doing that, and I got to always try and do that too. So thank you again, candidates, and thank you for that.
Well, see, that's what I was thinking. What we did is, I got prizes you can use for the 4th of July. They're very handy. One of them is a full set of paper and plasticware to feed about 20 people at a cookout.
There were over 100 organizations on campuses, and they survived.
A state issue, but I'd like to find out, and the short of it is that maybe the South Valley, which is not West the South Valley, that we are asset rich. That people
I joined the Air Force and then I actually got out, went to UNM from 98 to 02.
okay, good.
I came back in 2010, went overseas to the Middle East for a little bit so I could come back and retire. Retired in 2018.
I'm really worried about the voter turnout. Please, it makes the drink taste better. I'm really worried about the voter turnout. So these are good luck coasters. Good luck coasters. You gotta have them. So they on purposely, ours don't run
you.
What is it?
It's called the Osmo, and it's made by DJI, who makes the drone. So this is basically a drone camera on a stick, right? So instead of it being on the drone, do that again.
Right there. Put your finger right there, like that, with just 2 fingers. That one, right there. Now slowly pull it back. There you go.
You can aim it at me, that's fine.
Here, look, see this balloon? You gotta make sure it's there you go, right on the edge. It takes a little bit of practice.
I'll help you, baby. There you go. There you go.
All